Hello and welcome to this week's weekly wisdom transmission. I am Chelsea Hazlett and I am so glad to have you here. So, this week we're going to talk about identity, right? And what does identity have to do with manifestation? Well, there's a point. Well, I guess I would actually say many points, right? Many points on every manifestation journey, every person's path where your old self no longer fits, right? It's like that cozy pair of pajamas you've had for just a little too long. Or if you have a kiddo, right? Their favorite dress, their favorite pants that they're just outgrowing, right? But they're kind of clinging to them because they're so comfortable. But they have these new clothes, but their new clothes aren't like totally them yet, right? They're maybe a new version of themselves. And so, let me take this back. When you're on this journey, sometimes actions that once felt so automatic suddenly feel too small, suddenly feel too stilted. And the dreams at the same time that once felt so distant, they're really tugging at you, right? They're really close and they're asking to be embodied. So, in that in between stretch, there's this undeniable wobble, right? There's a little clinging to what's known and familiar and probably somewhat comfortable in some ways. And then there's this like stretching in to this new version, right? So it's not that you're lost. It's like you have no idea where you've been, where you are, where you're going. But it's really that your system is learning how to hold this new level of truth. This frequency you've called in is already active, otherwise, it wouldn't be showing up at all. But your body, your mind are still kind of catching up, right? So, this is where the practice becomes really real. Not just real, but really real. So, each time you choose from that energy, from that new, stretchy, kind of wobbly energy, even when it feels tender, even when it feels uncertain, you show yourself that expansion and safety can coexist, right? They are not mutually exclusive because our mind really loves to tell us that, right? So each moment that you follow an intuitive nudge instead of an old habit, you anchor more deeply into the identity, into the version of you who already lives in that new, fresh frequency full time, full stop, full send. Each breath you take while resisting the urge to collapse back into what's familiar, to tear off the new clothes and go put on your old comfies, every time you resist that urge, it tells your nervous system you're safe. You're safe to grow right here. Every time you choose this new energy of this new embodiment that's actually not a new version, but more of a more authentic version, a coming home version, your nervous system recalibrates, right? Safety and expansion stop being opposites, like I just said, and start existing side by side because the identity that once felt aspirational truly starts to feel inevitable, unquestionably expected. So if you're in that space between, right, if you're doing all the aligned things and nothing seems to be happening quite yet, this isn't failure. It's just feedback. It's just feedback that you're expanding. And it's evidence that you are in the process of becoming more you, becoming more authentic, becoming a more embodied version of your divinity. So, this void that I speak of, it's not a pause in the creation process. So many people mistake it for pause and they go back and then it's like starting all over. This is the creation process. It's where the foundation for your reality is actually being built and where you build the capacity to live inside of it, to live the reality that you've been desiring. So this week, just ask yourself, where can I stretch just 3%, just 5% beyond what feels familiar? Can I stay in those new clothes 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 2 minutes longer so that my nervous system can safely expand into it? Thank you so much for being here with me. I'd love to hear how this lands. I'd love to hear how you feel when things are expanding. Drop a comment. I read all of them. Thanks so much. See you next week.